Hello, everyone. This is Pastor Sean from Death Church Radio Podcast. Been having some more technical difficulties with the computer, so I'm going to load the show from last week whenever I can. But for right now, I'm going to be using this platform by just making small increment videos every week. And what I was thinking is, I was thinking over music, and that Christian music is pretty generic when it comes to K-Love and music that you hear in church. It's just very dumbed down, and it's all that hillsong music from New York. It's like that's like most of the songs. From my experience going to churches in Tucson and also in California. So it's just it's a thing where, because I've had this discussion before, where it's kind of the same strings, it's the same formula, the same types of melodies that are being used, and I just never felt it was right. I just feel that it shouldn't be generic. It's not supposed to be generic. It is, when it comes to the actual act of worship in church, it is supposed to be unto the Lord when worshiping, but I don't understand why it has to be a hillside song, like, or whatever that church is from New York that most Western churches use for their worship services. Nowhere in the Bible says that they're supposed to be using their songs. And I have actually talked to a couple of different pastors about this, and a couple of different guys that were running like college ministries or men's groups. And I'd always kind of get the same answer, like, well, just don't think of it that way, because we are worshiping unto the Lord, so you should pray to focus on that instead of thinking that you don't like the song. And I do agree with that, but I mean, if you think about it, did David, when he was writing the Psalms and other orchestrated music or tunes that were written, that were talked about in the Bible, Old and New Testament, were they all supposed to be, half made and generic? No. Us even worshiping by song, then get up, stand up to do the morning announcements, to sit down, then stand up again to do this, stand up, do that. Whatever it is, it's like, it's not even biblical. So unless you know that it's biblical, throw it in the comments. But I don't remember reading it anywhere. And I'm talking about like Family Life Radio, K-Love, Air One, even some of the music on, what was that one called? Regeneration Radio. Like, it's just, Christians, if you want to be a musician, you feel God's called you to be a musician, you need to try a lot harder, because I hardly have any Christian music from rappers or rock artists or whatever on my iTunes, and there's a reason for that. It's just really, most of the music is super generic, like it's treated as pop music. I can't stand most of it. It's really, the lyrics are really corny, and it's just completely uninspiring. Lecrae and Trip Lee from hip-hop, those are the only two guys I can think of. Oh, and Beautiful Eulogy. And I also listen to a lot of death and black metal, and Crimson Moonlight, Crimson Thorn. That's about it. I listen to like music like like every day. I'm always looking for the next artist. I'm like, once I get back to work, I'm always buying records and CDs. But I'm sorry, I'm not buying a Toby Mac record. I'm not, or Lauryn Hill, or like Mercy Me, or even like those hardcore bands like For Today and stuff. I can't stand that kind of music. Oh, Impending Doom. That was another one I couldn't think of. Even though their last album was ugh. But anyways, there just needs to be a change when it comes to Christian music, because music that's coming from the devil, unfortunately, sounds a lot better. So I wouldn't say stop going to a church, because the worship music is just not to your taste. It's not to your liking. But it definitely has bothered me a lot.